Reuters, they got Sticks and Hammer on here. Reuters did a hit piece on Odyssey and BitChute. And look, they got Sticks on here. They got him here on here. I'm laughing about it, but they're smearing people. They're smearing him. Headline from Reuters: new breed of video sites thrive on misinformation and hate. These are arbitrary terms that mean different things to different people. There's no set term on what hate is. If I said I don't like Styx's bathrobe, that MAGA red bathrobe he's wearing, am I being hateful? No, I like Styx. So I don't know who gets to decide. Reuters wants to, though. BitChute and Odyssey serve up conspiracies. Races. Oh no. Whatever show. Somebody was racist? I don't know. Half the videos that I see online from the left are all anti-white. Is that racism? No, obviously not. To them. Reuters would never call it racism. Graphic violence to millions of viewers. We see graphic, all kinds of images on Facebook, Twitter, and everywhere else. Taking advantage of big tech disinformation crackdowns and the rise of Trump, it took all of 2 sentences to get his name in there. Do you mean the rise of the populist right? The sites reflect a new media universe, one where the pandemic isn't real, Russia fights Yazidis in Ukraine. Is that fake news? I guess they're saying it is. Mass shootings are false flag operations. When you go to alternate platforms, you're going to see gunk and you're going to see great stuff. Kind of like mainstream, except there's more great stuff. When you go to the mainstream, it's mostly all gunk, sans Tucker, and a couple people. Andrew Marshall, Joseph Tanfini wrote this article. They talked about after the mass shooting in Buffalo, how there were videos that they thought were portraying conspiracy theories. You know what? It's not illegal to have a conspiracy theory. Well, they're trying to make it illegal with what's happening with Alex Jones. But BitChute is booming. Business is booming. Odyssey, business is booming. Why is business booming? Business is booming because the main platforms are cracking down. So you ban James Lindsay, I've got to go to Getter to find him, or Gab to find him. You ban whoever else, I have to go to these other platforms to find them. And I surely will, because I want to get the full picture. Doesn't mean I believe everything everybody says. Doesn't mean I won't criticize people that on these alt platforms. It just means you aren't meeting the market demand. That's all it means. Because you have government artificially reaching their hands into private businesses, basically influencing what they can say, what they can't say, what's approved, what's not approved. So you're artificially tweaking a market, and that just creates another market. Talked about it so many times. Eric July in the Rippaverse. He's like, the book hasn't even come out yet. Everybody's flocking to me because there's demand for something that doesn't beat you over the head with social engineering of white people being bad. So your failures are my success. Now, they will eventually try to crack down on him as well. But that's all that's happening here. Reuters says online misinformation, though usually legal. Come again? Online misinformation, though usually legal. I think that's the end of the article. What else are we talking about? Nobody's breaking, if you're not breaking any laws, what are we talking about? Online information, though usually legal, like that's something to skip over, triggers real world harm. This is where they're going now. That's how they're attacking libs of TikTok. They're saying, libs of TikTok, this tweet that you sent out that has no call to action for harm or anything like that, you just literally pointed out that this hospital is doing this, this person did this, this is what I saw on TikTok. That's literally all the tweet is. And they're saying, well, some of these people are getting threats and all that. Well, Libs of TikTok was like, I didn't call for any of that. I don't know where those came from. What they got to do with me? Absolutely nothing. But they're trying to tie it in together. What? It would actually work better if it applied to both sides, but it's only going to one direction. And I would not agree with it, even if it was applied to both sides. But if they had to abide by their own rules, like Matt Walsh has threats to unlive him as well, if they had to abide by their own rules, then nobody would exist. They're going hard after Odyssey. I am on Odyssey. I like their website. I'm on Rumble. They're looking at these alternate sites because they are struggling deciding how to handle things. If YouTube bans people, the alternate sites are going to blow up bigger and bigger and bigger. I think at the end of the day, big money is going to come in and try to buy out Rumble and these other sites. They've got to decentralize. Otherwise, if they don't decentralize, they're going to go the way of YouTube. They don't like that they can't control the pandemic information. They don't like that they can't ban people on these sites. And then even what makes them even more angry is that you can do stuff on YouTube and still maintain on there and then draw people, however you want to do it, to these other sites. Are there bad things there? Absolutely. Are there bad things on mainstream media? Absolutely. So I think it's all fair. All's fair in love and informational civil war. They talked about the comment sections beneath some of the BitChute videos that has high amounts of hate speech. Well, is that illegal? It might be unsavory. It's not how I roll, depending on what you're calling hate speech. But that's not how I roll. But what I do like is the opportunity for people to express themselves. If these sites aren't good enough, if they don't give you the ability to block it, then nobody's going to use them. The government and these private companies, who are allegedly private companies, but they operate as public utilities, as they crack down, they create more of this. They actually radicalize people. That's why we have the First Amendment. To avoid what's happening here, a fragmented society. You go on Odyssey, it's a whole different world than YouTube. You go on Gab and you're like, wait a second, this is not like Twitter. And I like it. Don't have time to be on all of these, but if you don't know, Odyssey's here. I'll put a link to my Odyssey video in the description. And you can decide whether you like my videos or not. If my videos are hate speech to you or not. I'm providing criticism to Reuters. Reuters would probably call that hate speech. That's where we are. Let me know what you think. Take care. The MAGA versus the Machine merch. Link in the description. I've got different types. The dark MAGA, the heart with the American flag, plaid MAGA for those Tesla fans out there, and MAGA versus the Machine and sweaters, tank tops for women as well. It's not just a saying, it's for real. And if you're hesitant on MAGA, replace that word with populist and see if it hits a little bit different. Take care.